There's old wood beneath my feet. It knows the sound of tired dreams. It heard my father close the door, too worn to ask for anything more. It heard my mother softly pray when supper stretched another day. It heard the rain, it heard my name, it held the house through old wood pane. A home can hurt and hold you still, like roots wrapped round a stubborn hill. I left that place, but all the same, I still carry old wood pain. Old wood, old pain still remembers me. Every nail, every board, every family tree. Old wood, old pain in the walls and rain. I walked away from that house, but not from what it gave. There's a window facing west, where the sunset used to rest. I stood there young and full of plans, with the whole world in my hands. Now I know what years can do. They take the many, leave the few. They leave a chair, a coat, a stain, and rooms that whisper old wood pain. I thought that leaving meant I'd heal, but some things follow what you feel. Some doors close, some still remain inside your chest like old wood pain. Old wood, old pain still remembers me. Every nail, every board, every family tree. Old wood, old pain in the walls and rain. I walked away from that house, but not from what it gave. I don't curse the place I knew. It did the best that it could do. It kept us warm in times within. It let the broken people in. If I return with tired eyes, it ain't to ask the past why. It's just to stand there once again and thank the house that held my pain. Old wood, old pain still remembers me. Every nail, every board, every family tree. Old wood, old pain in the walls and rain. I walked away from that house, but not from what it gave. Old wood, old pain where the quiet stayed, where love was tired but never ran away. So let the porch lean toward the ground, let the empty room sleep sound. I'll leave my hand upon the frame and speak the old house by its name. No bright light, no holy chain, just what remains after the rain. A man, a door, a weathered grain. Old wood, got scars beneath my shirt from years that knew just where to hurt. Some came fast and some came slow. Some are names I don't let go. I got lines around my eyes from holding back too many cries. I've got hands that shake at night from holding wrong and losing right. I used to think that pain would pass like rain across a window glass, but some things stay beneath the skin and teach you how to live again. Scars don't leave a man, they just learn to hide. They sit beneath the silence and walk there by his side. Scars don't leave a man, but they can show him where he's been. I carry every wound I have and somehow still begin. I had love I couldn't keep, had promises I buried deep. Had a brother, had a friend, had some roads that had to end. There are things I won't explain. There are rooms still full of rain. There are words I never said, still sleeping heavy in my head. They told me time would make me whole, but time just taught me self-control. I didn't heal the way they planned, I just became a quieter man. Scars don't leave a man, they just learn to hide. They sit beneath the silence and walk there by his side. Scars don't leave a man, but they can show him where he's been. I carry every wound I have and somehow still begin. I don't curse the marks I wear, they prove that I was really there. In the fire, in the loss, in the debt, and in the cost. If I look tired, let it be. There are miles inside of me, but I have learned what pain can do. It breaks you down and builds you true. Scars don't leave a man, they just learn to hide. They sit beneath the silence and walk there by his side. Scars don't leave a man, but they can show him where he's been. I carry every wound I have and somehow still begin. Scars don't leave a man, but they don't own his soul. They carved away the softer parts and live the truth below. So if you see me standing still, looking past the farthest hill, no, I'm not lost inside the pain. I'm only listening to my name. Every mark and every line, every road I left behind made me more than what I planned. Scars don't leave a man. Scars don't leave a man. Watch the barn fall piece by piece. Watch the weeds grow through the peas. What fire took and rain forgot became the ground beneath my lot. I held old letters in my hand, names that time could not withstand. Some turn yellow, some turn thin, some still hurt to read again. I used to think what burns is gone, nothing left to stand upon. But under every blackened mile, the earth was working on the while. Ashes make the soil where the hard roots grow. What the fire takes away, the quiet ground still knows. Ashes make the soil for a tired heart to stand. I lost what I loved, but I became a man. There was a field behind our home where my father walked alone. He never said what made him stay, he just worked the pain away. Mama kept the curtains clean like sorrow was a private thing. She taught me grief can still be kind if you don't let it rule your mind. Now I carry what they knew, and every hard day I get through. Not every loss will leave you whole, but some will plant a deeper soul. Ashes make the soil where the hard roots grow. What the fire takes away, the quiet ground still knows. Ashes make the soil for a tired heart to stand. I lost what I loved, but I became a man. I don't ask to get it back, I don't curse the smoke black past. Some things leave so truth can stay, some things die to clear the way. If I've been beside the field, it ain't because I never healed. I'm just thanking what was burned for every lesson that returned. Ashes make the soil where the hard roots grow. What the fire takes away, the quiet ground still knows. Ashes make the soil for a tired heart to stand. I lost what I loved, but I became a man. Ashes make the soil under every scar. They turn a broken yesterday into something living in the dark. So let the field remember me as more than what I failed to be. Let the rain come soft and slow, let the buried things still grow. I'm not the fire spoiled, I'm not the grief I hold. What burned down needs something whole. Ashes make the soil. Woke up with the same old weight, same old coffee, same old ache, same old boots beside the door, same old road asking for more. There was dust on the window frame, dust on the picture with my name, dust on the dreams I used to trust, and one more day of dust. Nobody calls it bravery when you live what no one sees, but every morning I stand up with one more day of dust. One more day of dust, one more mile to go, one more tired heart, moving quiet and slow. One more prayer unsaid, one more road to trust. I am still alive in one more day of dust. I've seen strong men lose their hands to empty work and bitter land. I've seen good wives hide their tears behind the dishes in the years. I've seen love turn thin and pale like old paint on a broken rail. But even when the shine is gone, something plain keeps moving on. I used to wait for saving grace, like thunder rolling through this place. Now I know grace can be small, just standing after the fall. One more day of dust, one more mile to go, one more tired heart, moving quiet and slow. One more prayer unsaid, one more road to trust. I am still alive in one more day of dust. I don't need a holy sign to make this sorrow mine. Just give me enough morning light to make it through another night. Just give me breath when hope feels thin, and I will start again. One more day of dust, one more mile to go, one more tired heart, moving quiet and slow. One more prayer unsaid, one more road to trust. I am still alive in one more day of dust. One more day of dust, but dust is not the end. It settles on the broken things and lets them rise again. So let the dirt stay on my shoes, let the old road bring its news. I have lost more than enough, but I am made of stubborn stuff. If tomorrow comes the same, with no clean sky and no new name, I'll lift my head because I must, and walk one day of dust. There's a quiet part of me no one ever gets to see. It sits behind my tired eyes, counting every old goodbye. It knows a room where I broke down. It knows a road outside this town. It knows the names I do not say, and why I still look far away. Nobody asks where silence starts, or how it settles in a heart. But I have lived where words don't reach, and learned what sorrow came to teach. There's a quiet part of me still holding on, still sitting with the hurt after everyone is gone. There's a quiet part of me still trying to believe I lost so much along the way, but it never let me leave. My father carried work like stone, came home tired and sat alone. My mother kept the curtains clean, like pain was something left unseen. I learned that men can disappear while standing right in front of here. A body breathes, a mouth can smile, while the soul walks many miles. They thought I healed because I stood, because I did the things I should. But standing ain't the same as free when silence lives inside of me. There's a quiet part of me still holding on, still sitting with the hurt after everyone is gone. There's a quiet part of me still trying to believe I lost so much along the way, but it never let me leave. I don't curse the quiet now. It stayed when I forgot how. It kept a chair beside my pain and waited through the hardest rain. Maybe peace is not a shout. Maybe it just settles down like dust upon a window frame and calls you by your given name. There's a quiet part of me still holding on, still sitting with the hurt after everyone is gone. There's a quiet part of me still trying to believe I lost so much along the way, but it never let me leave. There's a quiet part of me that knows I made it through, not clean, not whole, not young again, but honest, one and true. So if I speak a little slow, it's from the places I don't show. If I stare past what I see, is just the quiet part of me. No crown, no thunder, no release, just one old heart that asked for peace. And somewhere deep beneath the grief, the quiet gave me room to breathe. I took the cold road home again, past the fields and broken fence, past the house where I was raised, past the boy I couldn't save. The porch was leaning toward the ground, no one there to hear the sound, just my boots and evening gray, and all the words I didn't say. Nobody waits where time is gone, nobody sings an old man's song, but something in that empty place still remembered my face. The cold road home still knows my name. It held my sorrow, it held my shame. The cold road home did not let go. It brought me back to what I know. Mama's roses had gone wild, like grief left alone for a while. Daddy's shed was caving in, but I could still smell work on him. There are things you can't outrun, old hurt buried in the sun. You leave town and swear you're free, and carry home inside your knees. I thought the miles would make me clean, but distance don't erase a dream. Some roots stayed down where pain was grown, and call a tired man back home. The cold road home still knows my name. It held my sorrow, it held my shame. The cold road home did not let go. It brought me back to what I know. I don't know if home forgives, or if it only lets you live. I don't know what grace can be when it stands so quietly. But I touched that old front door, and I was not lost anymore. Not healed, not young, not clean, but closer to what I mean. The cold road home still knows my name. It held my sorrow, it held my shame. The cold road home did not let go. It brought me back to what I know. The cold road home was hard and slow, but sometimes that's the only way to go. So let the fields grow dark behind, let the years stay where they lie. I came back with empty hands, but I came back as a man. No bright sign above the trees, no holy voice calling me, just gravel, dust, and evening foam, and the cold road home. There's a house at the end of town where the porch light finally burned out. The windows stare like tired eyes, holding dust and no goodbyes. I used to hear my mother sing while my father fixed most everything. Now every room just knows my name, and every wall remembers pain. I walked through doors I used to know, found silence sitting by the stove. Some places don't need graves to be a field of buried memory. This is the house the pain left empty, where the years don't make a sound, where love once kept the table ready, now only shadows gather round. This is the place I learned to lose, the place I learned what men don't say. I came back looking for mercy, but mercy had moved away. There's a chair beside the kitchen wall where Daddy rested after it all. His boots were worn, his voice was low. He gave more than the world would know. Mama kept the sorrow clean, folded grief in faded jeans. She smiled when the cupboards thinned, like hunger was just passing wind. I thought I'd leave and cut the chain, but distance never killed the pain. Some roots stay wrapped around the bone, no matter where a man is gone. This is a house that pain left empty, where the years don't make a sound, where love once kept the table ready, now only shadows gather round. This is the place I learned to lose, the place I learned what men don't say. I came back looking for mercy, but mercy had moved away. I don't hate the broken floor, I don't curse that old front door. It held us up when times were thin, it kept the cold from coming in. And maybe pain ain't just a thief, maybe it teaches men to breathe. Maybe all these empty rooms still kept a little truth. This is the house the pain left empty, where the years don't make a sound, where love once kept the table ready, now only shadows gather round. This is the place I learned to lose, the place I learned what men don't say. I came back looking for mercy, but mercy had moved away. This is the house that still remembers every prayer and every fall. I lost the people that made me, but I still hear them in the walls. So I'll leave the porch light broken, let the dust stay where it lies. Some things don't need fixing, some wounds don't need disguise. I close the door behind me, but I won't walk away the same. That empty house still holds me, and pain still knows my name. I kept a match inside my coat for all the nights I had no hope. Not for fire, not for flame, just to remember I had a name. The house got cold, the fields went dry. I learned to live without asking why. Some prayers fell flat on wooden floors, some never made it past the door. Nobody saw the quiet cost, nobody counted what I lost. But somewhere low where pain should be, there was still one light in me. There's still a last light in me, small as a candle, hard to see. When the road gets dark and the night won't leave, still a last light in me. I lost my way, I lost my pride, lost the boy I kept inside. But through the hurt and memory, there's still a last light in me. I watch my mother fade with grace, a tired smile on a tired face. She said, son, don't let this world turn your heart to stone. My father never spoke of fear, but I could see it year by year, in the way he held his coffee cup and never once complained enough. I took their silence, took their pain, carried both through dust and rain. But what they left beneath my skin was strength enough to rise again. There's still a last light in me, small as a candle, hard to see. When the road gets dark and the night won't leave, still a last light in me. I lost my way, I lost my pride, lost the boy I kept inside. But through the hurt and memory, there's still a last light in me. I don't call myself a strong man, I don't know if that is true. I just kept breathing when breathing was all I could do. Maybe that is all faith is, not a crown, not a sign, just a broken man still walking with one small light inside. There's still a last light in me, small as a candle, hard to see. When the road gets dark and the night won't leave, there's still a last light in me. I lost my way, I lost my pride, lost the boy I kept inside. But through the hurt and memory, there's still a last light in me. There's still a last light in me. After all I failed to be, not bright enough for all to see, but bright enough to carry me. So let the old road take its time. Let the dark stand next to mine. I have been bent by grief and need, but there's still a last light in me. And when my hands begin to shake, when the morning feels too late, I'll hold that flame and let it be the last true light in me. There's blood under the quiet. There's weight behind my eyes. There are things I learned to bury just to make it through the night. I don't wear it like a warning. I don't show it like a scar. I just keep my hands from shaking when the memories go too far. Nobody asked the silent man what it cost him just to stand. Nobody sees the years he hides underneath a steady stride. There's blood under the quiet, but I still carry on. There's pain inside the morning, but I still face the dawn. I lost more than I speak of. I held more than I should. There's blood under the quiet, but the quiet kept me good. My father taught me work was prayer, even though hope was there. My mother taught me how to smile when the hurt stayed for a while. I watch the years take what they take, watch strong hearts quietly break. Some wounds never make a sound, they just learn to settle down. I used to think I had to win, to be a man inside my skin. Now I know some men survive by keeping one small flame alive. There's blood under the quiet, but I still carry on. There's pain inside the morning, but I still face the dawn. I lost more than I speak of. I held more than I should. There's blood under the quiet, but the quiet kept me good. I don't need the world to see the nights that took a part of me. I don't need a crowd to know how far a tired man can go. If there's mercy left for me, let it come down quietly. Not like thunder, not like flame, just enough to keep my name. There's blood under the quiet, but I still carry on. There's pain inside the morning, but I still face the dawn. I lost more than I speak of. I held more than I should. There's blood under the quiet, but the quiet kept me good. There's blood under the quiet. There's dust inside my soul. cold. So let me walk the old road slow, with all the things I'll never show. I may be worn, but I am true. I made it farther than I knew. And if the silence speaks my name, I won't answer it with shame. There's blood beneath this quiet wood, but the quiet kept me good. I was not born with iron skin, I just learned to hold it in. I was not made from stone or flame, I was shaped by loss and shame. There was a fire in my younger days, before the world took half my faith, before the bills, before the ground, before the silence settled down. Nobody saw the boy I buried, nobody knew the weight I carried. But somewhere under all that dust, my broken heart still learned to trust. Ashes made the man, not the easy days, not the open doors, not the words of praise. Ashes made the man with a tired hand. I lost what I loved, but I learned to stand. I watched the farm go brown and bare, watched my father lose his stare, watched my mother fold her dress like grief was something to confess. I took the long way out of town, with no one there to turn around. Sometimes leaving don't set you free, it just shows you what you need. They called me quiet, called me cold, said my eyes looked tired and old. But what they saw was not defeat, just a man still on his feet. Ashes made the man, not the easy days, not the open doors, not the words of praise. Ashes made the man with a tired hand. I lost what I loved, but I learned to stand. There are prayers I never finished, there are roads I never named, there are faces in the window I still see inside the rain. But I am not the ruin, I am not the fall, I am what kept breathing after losing all. Ashes made the man, not the easy days, not the open doors, not the words of praise. Ashes made the man with a tired hand. I lost what I loved, but I learned to stand. Ashes made the man when the night got long, when the heart went quiet and the hope felt gone. I came So if you see me walking slow, with dust where flowers used to grow, don't mistake these tired eyes for a soul that didn't rise. I have been less than I became. I have walked through smoke and shame, but every sorrow, every brand burned down low and made the man. The years went by without a sound, like old leaves falling to the ground. No great storm, no sudden flame, just little losses with my name. I watch my hands grow rough and slow, watch the boy in me let go. He didn't leave with one last cry, he faded quiet behind my eyes. Nobody heard what time can do when it takes the softest part of you. But somewhere in that silent grief, I found a heart, a kind of peace. The years didn't speak, but they told me enough. They taught me how to carry pain when carrying got rough. The years didn't speak, but they called me deep. I lost the man I thought I'd be, and found one I could keep. Mama's voice still comes around when the house gets too quiet now. Daddy's shadow by the door still asks me what I'm working for. I've had love that couldn't stay, had faith that nearly walked away, had mornings where my tired chest felt too heavy to confess. They said the pain would pass in time, like rivers crossing county lines. But some old hurt don't ever leave, it only teaches you to breathe. The years didn't speak, but they told me enough. They taught me how to carry pain when carrying got rough. The years didn't speak, but they carved me deep. I lost the man I thought I'd be, and found one I could keep. I don't need a reason now for every scar and every vow. Some things come and take their due and leave a quieter truth in you. If I seem far away sometimes, I am counting old fault lines, not to break, not to stay, just to know I found my way. The years didn't speak, but they told me enough. They taught me how to carry pain when carrying got rough. The years didn't speak, but they called me deep. I lost the man I thought I'd be, and found what I could keep. The years didn't speak, but I heard them still settle down like dust outside a dying town. I won't ask them to return. I know a loss was meant to burn. I have been changed by what I knew, by every road I stumbled through. The years stayed quiet, dark and steep, but they gave me one soul to keep. I ain't found all I'm looking for. Still got ghosts beside the door. Still got names I do not say. Still got nights that won't behave. But I woke up and tied my shoes, made some coffee, heard the news. The world was hard, the sky was gray, but I was here another day. Nobody clapped, nobody knew the kind of road I'd made it through. But something in the morning frost made me feel a little less lost, a little less lost, a little more found, still carrying pain, but not going down. A little less lost, with my hands on the day. I ain't healed yet, but I'm finding my way. There was a time I couldn't stand the sight of my own working hands. They looked like failure, looked like death, looked like things I can't forget. Now they look like what survived, proof that something stayed alive. Not clean, not young, not free from cost, but maybe just a little less lost. I used to wait for life to change, for some bright mercy, strange and plain. Now I know the quiet way can save a man from yesterday. A little less lost, a little more found, still carrying pain, but not going down. A little less lost, with my hands on the day. I ain't healed yet, but I'm finding my way. I don't need a perfect road, I don't need a lighter load. I just need the strength to see there's still a place for me. Maybe peace is one small thing, not a bell that starts to ring, just a tired soul that crossed one more mile. A little less lost, a little less lost, a little more found, still carrying pain, but not going down. A little less lost, with my hands on the day. I ain't healed yet, but I'm finding my way. A little less lost, though the road stays long. I still hear sorrow, but it ain't my only song. Let the evening come in slow, let the old hurt rise and go. I have walked through heavy cost and come back a little less lost. If tomorrow looks the same, I still answer to my name. Not whole, not clean, but soft enough to be a little less lost.